Dear friends in Christ, we have arrived at the great 3 days. Today, tomorrow, and Saturday take us on an epic journey through the cross to life beyond it. And I want you to know that all this could have been avoided. Jesus could have chosen to keep his mouth shut. He could have decided not to heal on the Sabbath. He didn't have to bring Lazarus back from the dead. And even after all that, he could have stayed away from Jerusalem, where people were impatiently waiting to arrest him and put him on trial. It's like he's walking right into a trap, one that is clearly visible to everyone, including him. The end of the 11th chapter of John tells us, now the Passover of the Jews was near, and many went up from the country to Jerusalem before the Passover to purify themselves. They were looking for Jesus and were asking one another as they stood in the temple, "What do you think? Surely he will not come to the festival, will he?" Now the chief priests and the Pharisees had given orders that anyone who knew where Jesus was should let them know so that they might arrest him. Nevertheless, Jesus travels to Jerusalem, where he is greeted by joyful crowds. He is not fooled by his apparent popularity, and a few moments later, he tells his disciples, "Now my soul is troubled, and what should I say? Father, save me from this hour? No, it is for this reason that I have come to this hour." What would you do if you knew that your time on earth were drawing to a close? What would you say to your loved ones as a final farewell? In the Gospel according to John, Jesus has a lot to say. 5 chapters make up what we call the final discourse. But before Jesus kicks off his farewell speech, he lets his actions speak. Fairly recently, someone has shown Jesus great love in a unique and kind of weird way by pouring perfume on his feet and wiping them with her hair. Jesus takes inspiration from Mary's example of demonstrative love. He will wash the disciples' feet, a task that is normally done by a slave or a servant. Jesus gets up, takes off his outer robe, and ties a towel around his waist. It is awkward. Peter is probably not the only one who is uncomfortable to see their teacher and spiritual leader acting in this disconcerting way. I can just see them squirming in their seats. Are we really doing this now? Their feet are dirty from the dusty roads. Some are all too aware of their particular foot odor. This is part of them that they don't usually let others see or touch. It feels vulnerable and oh so awkward. Later, when the whole epic drama has concluded, this will be something they remember. It will stand out because of their discomfort and because they felt so loved despite the discomfort. The disciples will then see what they cannot see now, that Jesus' actions flew in the face of the Roman Empire's values, being first, being best, being on top. What strength of character it must have taken Jesus to go high when others went low, especially Judas, who was right there with them, getting his feet washed as well. It's true that Jesus didn't overthrow the Roman Empire, but he showed his disciples how to inflict 1,000 tiny cracks in the corrupt system by playing by another set of rules, by choosing love and mercy instead of hate and revenge, by serving instead of insisting on being served. So welcome to Maundy Thursday. That word, Maundy, means command. And so this day is marked by Jesus' command. I give you a new commandment, that you love one another. Just as I have loved you, you should also love one another. You are not merely a bystander in what is unfolding in these great 3 days. You are invited to participate through your loving service, through how you choose to live your life. During the hymn that we're going to begin in just a moment, you are invited to participate in a washing of hands. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. We're not washing feet because that might be kind of too much for some of you, I realize. So we're going to start out with something a little less awkward, which is washing hands. So the station is right here, and I will be the first hand washer. And so whoever comes first will put their hands over the bowl, and then I will pour water onto their hands, and I will dry their hands. I don't just throw them the towel. I dry their hands, okay? And then you can put the used towels when they get too wet or whatever. We can use these for 1 or 2 people, and then you can put them in the basket. And then if you just had your hands washed, guess what? You get to wash the next person's hands. So you each get the experience of being served and then the experience of serving. If you are uncomfortable with the germ situation, we have a little pump of antibacterial gel. So if you want a second washing of your hands, you can do that. You can just, after you're done washing that person's hands, just go over there. Nobody's gonna watch you to see who wants that. So just do it. So we begin to sing the song and to participate in this, and it's all optional. It's all optional. So come as you feel led.